The Age of Heroes is almost here, with its full release being predicted to be in October, and the public version is said to be on August 22nd, so in about a week's time we get to go and test out the brand new update on the test version, which is really good fun. So October full release, and then we have like a month of testing, so lots to look forward to. Of course, there'll be videos on the channel, but let's get into some of the dev stream highlights and see what they're adding to this brand new age. Right, let's start with the free content and the first portion of the stream. So they were walking through a set we'll talk about later, and we'll talk about the brand new stuff with that. But first of all, we're going through living settlements, a brand new thing they're adding to the game, which transforms crafters into real movable NPCs that have needs. So they will need to sleep, drink, and eat. However, they're only going to RP these actions. You don't actually need to feed them or provide them drink. They're just going to perform it like an RP session and make it look more alive. They did say this mainly only happens with crafters though, so things like archers, fighters, and dancers won't move around like the rest. So with this update, you're going to see your crafters just milling around, maybe sleeping in a bed or something like that, which sounds super cool. They did show us a few examples of a dude like twirling a roast hog on a stick and all sorts. It was kind of crazy. But don't worry, if you need them to craft on the bench, there's a brand new really cool system they showed us.
A worker does not have to be actively at the bench in order to be able to like have the crafting. And then also, we've added some functionality, a new UI element on the crafting thing above my head, where if you have multiple different followers in your roster that I believe it's, what'd you say, within 50 meters of the bench itself? Yeah.
It's currently 50 meters. It's something we can adjust.
If you have multiple followers in your roster that can apply their bonuses to a bench, you'll have the option of choosing which one you want to apply to the bench. And then you'll actually be able to see exactly what bonuses they confer. And if you really want to get into like the exact like crunchy numbers, you can press this button to expand this, and you'll see the actual like the full range of like numerical bonuses that they provide for you for crafting. This will apply to every single crafting station, every single crafter. Of course, you know, the ones with like unique bonuses.
We'll see how it works in game though. I'm very curious about this 50-meter range. Hopefully it's big enough. One of the only downsides of the system is this actually does have an effect on your thrall count. They answered this in Q&A and they confirmed that crafters will now count towards the thrall count. There's also questions about the thrall cap, and apparently their QA department is running tests about this and seeing if it's laggy or not, and there was a mention of maybe reducing the cap. Do remember the cap is 50 for a solo player, and then every time you add a new player to your clan, it pluses by 5. So you should be able to have 50 NPCs out in your base at a time, which I mean, it's pretty reasonable. I think you should be able to do that just fine. But yeah, it's definitely a change because that never happened before, and you would have been fulfilling this 50 previously by, well, just using archers and fighters. So you definitely have to be careful about that. However, if you do have your crafters, they don't automatically, you know, convert into a standing one that actually go in the bench like an unconverted thrall. So you just pick them at your crafting bench and place them down, and that's how you would use them now. So you're able to sort it out before this change happens, which is definitely a good thing. They also mentioned in the stream, which I found really interesting, you know how on Sipta you have these cages and prisoners? Well, apparently that's coming to the Exiled Lands now. And what they've said in here, which I found really interesting, is you can now rescue the barkeeper from these as well. So you don't have to wait for a purge to be able to get the barkeeper. You can find them out in the world through a prisoner, which is super interesting. They also said the purge now has crafter thralls in it, which is huge. That's a definitely well-needed update. We were missing it since the last time with the previous purge, so now that has been reinstated. So that is big update part number 1. Big update part number 2 is the brand new companions. There's 2 getting released with this update, and apparently there's lots of things you can do with them.
These companions are new, fully voice-acted characters with their own special quests, like unique quest lines to be able to recruit them with their own unique passives and perks that that can actually change depending on your choices throughout the quest line.
After they're converted, there'll be like a normal follower that follows you around, and we actually also have a ton of like continued immersive voice lines for them to play whenever they follow you around the world. So they'll have things to comment on, talking about the different biomes and races and POIs and just like all sorts of stuff that they have a chance to talk about while you cart them around the exiled lands. Whenever they convert and you inspect them, you'll be able to see the perks that they earned. And each perk will have a description that tells you what you did to get that specific perk during the conversion. So if you want to go through again and see the alternative version, what the other side of the perks are, and if you want to try to mix and match those things, you've got good reasons to go through and try to do all the different things and some little fun activities to set for yourself.
So you're going to have quest lines, companions, and a brand new adventure there, which sounds super fun. I love the sound of that. So that's going to be really interesting. They also teased that Freya is going to be one of the companions, the second companion. So then there was also a reveal on Lui Fei. Hopefully I'm getting that right. And the stinky plant. Yes. They didn't show much information about this, but apparently in the jungle on the eastern side, in the middle section, there is now going to be this stinky tentacly corruption plant, and if you go up to it, a invisible man will come up to you and give you some lore and talk you through something. So potentially another quest line there. So it looks like this is going to be like the start to something, and maybe we'll do something hero-y, I don't know. But it sounds awesome, and there's a lot of voice acting with that as well. That looks really cool, as you can see. Something to add on to the companions is old Freya won't spawn anymore. So if you have old Freya, it will be like a special item now, a rare item, a rare NPC, because she will not spawn anymore. She will be replaced with the new Freya. If you have an old version, you get to keep it, but any more that go into the world will be new Freyas, the companions. So if you do have an old Freya, well, you're lucky, because she is just exclusive now. So yeah, interesting. One thing they did say about this update, which I'm kind of like, aww, is new companions only are on the exiled lands. Now, I mean, this is all right, because they could have quest lines on the exiled lands that are relevant, and I guess I kind of understand that part. Since they have quest lines, I would expect they want to adventure around or something, because that's what happens in quest lines. But it does make me sad, because I do feel like all these new updates for the past couple of years, all exiled lands. I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I just get tired of exiled lands. I'm just like, I just want to play something else. I just want to play Sifter. I just want to play Savage Worlds. Something like that. Sometimes the same thing kind of gets a bit boring. But that's just me. I'm sure there's many people that are just fine playing exiled lands. But I am a bit like, another update for that. So I'm hoping maybe down the line there could be another update that maybe helps a bit and goes on Sifter. They did do one of these one time with the brand new fightable fortresses on Sifter, and it was awesome, and I enjoyed that time. So I'm hoping in the future maybe they'll balance it out a bit. That way you can go on both and just you have your break from one map and then go on the other, etc. It's a bit nicer that way. You have to let me know in the comments down below what you feel about this, because I'm kind of interested on it. A couple of bugs they're working on right now. They said they are working on it, so I don't know if it's actually going to come out with this release.
Two things that we're aware of, very high priority things, still working on it. One, we know folks are still falling through stuff like foundations. We know, and we know it sucks. We are working on it. As soon as we have more information, we will blast it to everyone, because believe me, we want it fixed too. We want it fixed ASAP too. We're not here reveling in this ha ha ha. It sucks. So we're aware. We're working on it. And I actually...
undermeshing.
Undermesh. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. It's the same deal for undermeshing. There were adjustments made to the system a release ago, and it's letting more people spend time undermesh, which is, hurting
Not
some
great.
ecosystems. Yeah. But the alternative in the short term would be that people die when they're just walking around the normal ground. So... to me, it's more important that people playing the game normally don't just die for no reason when they're walking across a desert. And we're working on a fix for that undermesh system to prevent people from being able to bury themselves under the ground.
And now let's move over to the Bazaar section. Of course, there's going to be no battle pass this age, remember, guys. because they are scrapping that and putting the resources into making things for the main game. They have said they have a smaller team, so they're going to need all the resources that they can get for that one. But basically with this, there's going to be a brand new Argosian theme. Like they've done on prior expansions, they've expanded the Yamatai one last time. They are doing this with the Argosian one this time, so there's going to be expansion on that set. And it did look really good. I noted down some of the things I saw on the stream, and I'll be showing it to you right now. There is apparently a new set called the Argosian Observatory set. This includes brand new horse armor, curved ceiling pieces, a constellation ceiling, which looks really cool. I'm kind of hoping they also have square pieces to this, because I would love to have this all over my ceiling, honestly. There's brand new bookshelves, chairs. There's a brand new chest, a chandelier, a telescope, a planetary type deco made out of metal, 3-tier windows, which looks really cool. So it looks like you have a base, a midsection, and a top section. You can make them as long as you like. Those looked amazing. Probably the best part of this set, to be honest, because having windows in this game that are nice are always great. I know I love the storm glass ones. They also have winding stairs, a brand new ivy placeable, which looked really nice, tapestries, and a golden trimmed ceiling from what I saw. They also are introducing, I think it's going to be like a wine bundle, to be honest, because they showed a grape stomping tub, which was random, but it looked cool. And then a wine bottle and serving tray deco. So I think that's going to be a whole set in on itself by the looks of it. There is also a brand new doggy and a brand new cat you can find. There's a big fluffy cat, so I assume that's one you'd get through the Bazaar for both of those. So that is what is coming up in the update. Let me know what you guys think about it. If you have any questions in the comments down below, definitely leave some comments. I will try and answer them the best I can, but those are the highlights of today's dev stream. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a like and subscribe for more survival content, especially Conan, coming up very soon. Either way, my name is KiahOnFire. Thank you for watching. I love you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye!